Hi everyone, today we're going to focus on last 1 month of CAT preparation. What your strategy, your views, what you did in the last 1 month, so I can get 99, 98 percentile like in your case. So like आपने बोला कि you started studying early on, but the focus was the 4-5 months. So what you did in the last 1 month?
Yeah. So I think for me last one was very important because I come from a very heavy job in a sense that I was working with sales profile. So for me the travel part was very huge, right? So I could not really spend a lot of time even though I started like 4-5 months in advance. So for me last month 1 month was basically a lot of prep in terms of revising what my basics are. Secondly, the important part was a mock. So a lot of it was actually preparing the mocks, preparing for the mocks, giving those mocks.
How many mocks you might have taken last?
So I think I don't remember the number, but I think every alternate day I would probably give up some mock and then just revise it. So I would just not give it for the sake of giving it. I would probably come back and see, where what were the areas that were not doing that great. For example, so my case was a little different. DILR was something which I always thought I am not great at. I always had this like bias, I would say, that quants and verbal, since I have been studying about it like all my childhood, right? So I thought that will help. And I come from IIT Suratkal, so I had a like JE background as well. So I thought that will be something I can manage. DILR was something which I thought I will not be. So I was heavily focused on DILR, and turns out that DILR was my the shining star in my
99.9%.
99.9%.
Whereas जिस पर डर था उस पर ज़्यादा focus कर दिया तो you end up scoring more marks.
Yes.
Great. So were you expecting 99 percentile?
No, not at all. So DILR was where I was thinking I will be very defensive. I'll not be probably able to score that much. But that day I think, I don't know, like an element of luck and hard work, whatever. But I was able to crack, I think, 3 questions, and that is how...
3 sets?
3 sets, yeah.
Wow.
So it worked out well.
Perfect. I'll come back to that question sometime.
Contrary to him, actually, while I was preparing, I was not actually working at that time, so I had enough time to prepare for my whole course, as well as in the last 1 month. Basically, I majorly focused upon how should I build my strategies towards giving CAT. Actually, I was not very good with VARC actually, so my major focus was to build on the strategies so that I should not be messing up with that particular part, and that actually happened. I got 85-90 percentile approximately in VARC, and the rest 2 of them, DILR and Quant, were the stronger parts of me. I had 99 percentile in DILR and 99.5 in Quant. So both of them managed, and I secured a good percentile overall. So that was more of like how I majorly focused towards strategizing my attempt in the CAT.
Correct. So what was your strategy? You talking about the mock strategy or preparation strategy?
Actually, it was more of a like I was giving mocks. I was giving a couple of mocks, or at least 1 mocks per day, and more of it was like I was majorly focused upon how much should I be learning from those mocks. And it was like I strategized that this was the golden number that I should be touching in this particular section, that I would be able to comfortably land up in a good position. So that was a core thing that I had.
So I think you used the right word. What you learned from the mock. If you can find out that part in every mock,
exactly,
I think that's the best analysis you can do.
More of than giving more number of mocks, it is the most important thing is how much you are learning from the mocks. Even if you are giving 1 mock per day, and if you are at least evaluating whatever you have given and learning from that actually contributes to a lot of things actually.
Correct. And were you expecting 99 percentile?
Overall, I was not expecting that, but yes, as I told you that I strategized for VARC, and the 2 were a good, strongest part of me. So
let me give one mantra for everyone कि nobody is expecting क्या होने वाला है, of course. ठीक है, कैट वाले दिन जो बुरा करेगा ना कम बुरा करेगा, बुरा को सबको होने वाला है. लाइक यू सेड यू डिड वेल इन DLR, बट बाकी जगह पे कहने का तो गड़बड़ क्या होगा देन व्हाट यू थॉट. सो जो कम बुरा करेगा वो आगे जाएगा. सिंपल, दैट्स वन लाइन सॉल्यूशन फॉर दैट. सो एवरीबडी कैन डू इट. सो लास्ट 1 month is possible.
Absolutely, it's possible if you are completely dedicated to it and you are strategizing well. Then I believe
of course, you have to do the hard work.
Anyone can do it. Yeah.
Correct. So let's talk about the DLR strategy. So I've got 1 month time. I am 0 in DLR. So what will you recommend me? How can I go from 0 to, if not 3, 2 sets हो गया तो भी इज्जत बच जाएगा.
Yeah, so thing is, in my case, right, I self-tutored myself. So ऐसा भी नहीं था कि I took some coaching that time. I think in the hindsight, I think that is a good decision too, because if there is somebody to guide you, it really helps. For me, I was haywire all the while because DILR as it is, I had a bias, as I was saying कि होगा नहीं. this is something which I'm not able to crack. And when I started looking at it, I think the major problem was confidence, then aptitude. And that is pretty, typically I have seen a lot of people have this inherited bias ki nahi hoga, this is something which is tough. So for me, I think I had to make myself comfortable with that entire set. So I used to not even attempt questions because I thought I will not be able to do that well, because this is not my cup of tea, so I would run away from it. Like that is how I was doing it. So for me, the initial strategy was actually to just make myself sit and practice DILR questions just left, right and center. Practice the approach. I think that approach is more important than anything. I remember watching some YouTube videos, and if you ask me, honestly, the YouTube videos was something which actually helped me a lot, because in DILR like subject, more importantly, you are supposed to have that approach than anything else. Once you have that approach, you will be able to score all the questions, right? So practice the approach. That is something which I would advise, and that approach will only come if there is somebody, and in my case at least, my opinion would be somebody is helping you, right? Either it is somebody who has given it, either somebody you have taken professional help from, or you're self-tutoring yourself from YouTube. Anyway, but that approach will only come if you are able to practice your way out. So that is something which is so important.
And in DLR, people leave. They try to solve. I'm not able to get any heads around. Chhod deta wo. Take 1 hour ka time, no problem at all. Even if it takes 1 hour to solve one set today, it's good enough time to at least ho pa raha hai bhai.
Right.
वो करना is very important. You have to find that where you
we have to learn
stuck.
from whatever we are doing actually.
Exactly. वो कर लिया तो अपना निकल जाएगा. So let's talk about quant. So if I'm zero in quant today, so what would I be my strategy?
For quants, it's just like practice. It's more of a like if you are standing at the 0 point right now, it's like first figure out which are the core competencies that you have, core strengths that you are having. Focus on them, because as far as I remember, there were 22 questions in quant, right? 22 questions. So it's not necessarily that you do all the 22 questions. You do not need to attempt all the 22 questions. Even if you are attempting 10, 11 questions and you are getting them right, you are bang on 99 percentile. So for the 10, 11 questions, you need to figure out what are your core strengths, what are your core chapters, or what are the core topics that you need to cover upon. First, build a very strong background for them, and then go ahead with the rest of them, so that you would be able to figure out the later ones as well. And also, I also looked upon some of the YouTube videos which gave me a few of the tricks here and there. For a very simple example, if I can take the Pythagorean triplets was a very good trick that I had. I was used to do one question in 10 seconds in the actual CAT exam, so that helped me a lot. And that basically was like, it's more of a after stage, but first you need to focus upon what are your core strengths actually.
Correct. So you don't need to do the complete syllabus, do few topics, but do अच्छा से करो.
Exactly.
Correct. That's one good strategy. So when come to the interview phase, which all calls you have got?
So I got, apart from the Blackie, I got all the calls actually.
Apart from Blackie, you got all the calls. IIM Mumbai also. And did you apply for the private colleges?
I applied for the private colleges. Symbiosis was there. I applied for NMIMS as well. Both of them. I converted all of them.
All converts. All calls, all converts.
Right. For me, I had Bangalore BA, I had Kozhikode, I had Indore, I had Lucknow, and I obviously IIT Bombay. I think pretty much these colleges. My case was a little different. So honestly, I could not give all the interviews. No, so the thing is, I think I was telling, right, my job was a lot traveling based. I was traveling Singapore that time. I asked them to reschedule, they didn't reschedule, so I could not really give.
So they're lost.
Yeah, but then Bangalore was a pretty good experience. I think Bangalore, I was very confident that that will happen, but I think last 10 waiting list it didn't convert. So IIT Bombay was one of the prime ones, because one thing I like about IIT Bombay is the fact that here you interact with people not only from MBA, but like you have the best of both worlds, right? You have the beauty of being in a small cohort, at the same time in a larger ecosystem as big as 12,000 students. So I was very much inclined, because I had like baby IIMs and all these, so I decided to
join here. So do the interview where this 4 years of work experience was any kind of hampering there? Because a lot of people, if you see Quora and all now, I couldn't convert because I had no experience. I had more experience. So what will you say on that point?
Yeah, so if you are a very heavy workex, one thing is your interview, you don't know where will it go. Depends upon your introduction per se, because whenever they would ask me any academic questions, I had no idea, right? So like in fact, one of the, like, I keep on telling it as fun, but it was actually a true story. A professor at IIM Bangalore interview, he asked me, should I ask you some academic question? I was like, sir, you can try, but you will be disappointed. And he started laughing. So I was like, if you at all go into the direction of academics a little bit, I'm sure that you will not be able to manage, because it's very difficult to revise like 4 years back, right? But yeah, if you are you are able to get the narrative right in terms of your workex and you're concentrating on that, I think that is where your stronghold will be, and then it will go in the right direction.
The main thing they are checking is your ability to learn.
Correct.
तो ऐसा नहीं खाली पैसा कमाने के लिए आ रहा है, इसको सीखना भी है. That's I think the main thing they are checking.
How good a fit. It's basically like how good a fit you are for that particular course that you are going to take forward. So he had 48 months of work. I'll say that I have 2 years of work. So it was more like for me, even I was asked a bit of academic questions, and even I was blanked out at point of times. But it was more like I straightforward told them ki it has been couple of years and another year for preparation and something sort of that. So it was like not being in the academic part is not a disadvantage that you're gonna have. Correct. It's more like whatever you are speaking, you should be very confident in that. You should be very good in that actually. And at the end of the day, it's more like as I told you, it's they are finding a perfect fit. So if you are a fit for that particular organization, you would be landing over there.
So I normally believe in that way that they are, if you ask you to be technical, also it's just the way they are checking you out. It's like why I'm wearing black, why you wearing white. So there's a typical those kind of thing. There is no right or wrong answer. That won't be a disqualifying criteria. So you should don't worry about that kind of things. And what I recommend everyone, कि interview they are going to give you points. It's not pass fail. They can't pass fail you. They can just give you marks. So someone will give extra marks, someone will give less marks. But based on your CAT score, this and that, when added up, you can be safe. So डरो मत interview के time पे, go with the confidence.
I think one thing I would like to add. So this was my again a psychological trick, right? So whenever I used to enter the room, whether it's digital room or an offline room, I would always be the first one to ask how are you. Like that would put me into a more of a powerful situation wherein I am controlling the narrative. So I would like, hello sir, how are you doing today? It was a very subtle thing, but even like sometimes I have seen, like even I am Bangalore, I remember the moment you enter, they tend to like all the people who were the people who previously were there in the line, they were like, they didn't even ask me about this, they just started out and all that. So for this way I was able to handle the conversation a little to me, because they were also not expecting a student will come and say like, hello sir, how are you doing today? It was a very simple gesture, but I think it worked out well for me. So
exactly, I'd just like to add a few points on that. I personally believe like interviews are something which is supposed to be directed by governed by the interviewee actually, who is giving the interview.
Correct.
And if you are basically controlling the tone of that particular interview, it's more of a like you are going to get selected. So as he said that if you are going to start up with how are you, or basically start up with your own preference, comfort zone actually. So it's like if they basically land up getting in your comfort zone, then it's your game to play actually.
Correct. The one is the point here. So I got 90.98 percentile. So in my interview, my panelists, where I was took my training, you gonna say I got decent score of 99.98. तो अगर टॉपर बोला वो तेरी लगाएंगे. तो मैं कैसे I got decent, अरे नहीं decent नहीं है, बहुत अच्छा मार्क्स है तुम्हारे. But you have to say, तो you have to be ना settle. मैं टॉपर हूँ, मैं ये हूँ, फिर बोलेगा इधर आ, फिर तेरे लगाएगा वो. तो वो बस ध्यान दो.
You don't play the ego.
Correct. Exactly. And during the interview, the panelists का ego is running high. I've seen that because most of the time they are the alumni of the colleges who are there along with the panelists. So उनको कुछ भी फालतू बोल दिया, वो we never know what. Like some people say, I want to be CEO of a company. अरे मैं साला 50 साल का हो गया, अभी घूम रहा हूँ यहाँ पे, टीचर बन के बैठा हूँ यहाँ पे, तेरे को CEO बनना, इधर आ तू.
Okay, agreed, yeah.
So ठीक है, all the best यार. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.